So let's look at multiplying and dividing. I wrote here that we just did adding and subtracting. The symbol never changes. Multiplying and dividing, the symbol reverses when the multiplier or divisor is a negative. So you can write in your notes, you change the symbol, you flip the sign when you multiply or divide by a negative number. That is the only time you flip the sign. So let's look here. X divided by 5 is greater than negative 2. Opposite of dividing is multiplying. So I'm going to multiply 5 to both sides. Since I'm multiplying a positive 5, the sign doesn't change. And I have greater than or equal to negative 10. And then I want to plot all the numbers that are greater than negative 10. Close circles, point towards those numbers. Notice this was a negative, but the number that I was multiplying by both sides was not, so I don't need to flip the sign. So let's look here. 4 is greater than p divided by 8, or p divided by 8 is less than 4. Multiply 8 to both sides. Bring down p is less than 32. Notice I had to keep it consistent. And I'm going to write all the numbers that are less than 32. Open circle, point to all the numbers less than. Look at the next one. It's a fraction. Remember, when we divide fractions, we multiply by the reciprocal. So I always take the reciprocal of the number next to the variable. Cancels out, I get k is less than. 8 can go over 1. 3 times 4 is 12. So k is less than 12. So all the numbers that are less than 12, this would be an 11, 10, 9. Open circle pointing to all the numbers that are less than. Remember, when you have a fraction, you multiply by the reciprocal of the number next to the variable. Here I have a negative, so I'm going to multiply both sides by a negative 2. Bring down the x. Because it's a negative, I'm going to circle the sign, so I remember to flip the sign. And then it's a negative 2. So x is less than or equal to negative 2. And if it helps, you can rewrite it like this. So all the numbers that are less than or equal to negative 2. So I only flip the sign when I multiply or divide both sides by the negative. And I circle the sign to remember to do that. So let's look at this one. A negative 3 over 2b is less than 6. It's a fraction, so I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, but it's a negative, so I need to remember to flip the sign. b is greater than, can simplify, negative 4. And then I always graph my answer. All the numbers that are greater than. Go ahead and try these two on your own. So you should have gotten m is less than 2, because again you multiply by the reciprocal. It's a negative, so I flip the sign. And then same thing, I'm multiplying by a negative 2, so I flip the sign, and b is less than negative 3. It's the same thing when you divide it. Opposite of multiplying is dividing. I divided both sides by a positive, so it just stays how it is. 2, 3, 4, 5, close circle. Here, I'm dividing both sides by a negative 6. So again, I need to remember to flip the sign. So w is greater than 6, because 2 negatives give me a positive. So I want all the numbers greater than 6. Open circle, stays that way. Here, I'm going to divide both sides by a negative. Anytime I multiply or divide both sides by a negative, I flip the sign. And then I graph y is greater than negative 7. Go ahead and try these two on your own. You should have gotten that z is greater than negative 3, and then d is less than negative 8.